Hi guys, welcome back to Avalon. So, whoever I'm reading for here, but there's a person very heavily thinking about you, and they're not satisfied with the current situation of this connection. They are not at peace with the connection, and they don't like the chaos and the conflict that has been going on between you guys here in the past. This is a person who is doing some digging. You could also be questioning this relationship or this connection that you have with them. What is this? Why did this betrayal, this conflict, this chaos occur in the past? This person has caused a lot of drama and a lot of difficulties in your life that you didn't have prior. And it led to an ending. You had to move on, but you're maybe still questioning why it had to happen. And at the same time, I'm seeing the other person also questioning what went wrong here. There's an indicator, though, about this being a connection that you already know you should not return to because it's just too toxic or too difficult. Too much manipulation, too much drama, too much lying. You guys are both currently going through a shift. And maybe it's, having completely separated, you going your own way, this person going their own way. Spirit is saying that's a gift. You kind of going separate ways was supposed to happen because it was just too unhealthy for this dynamic to keep going. This person wasn't honest with you in the past. They showed themselves to be a certain way, but then you found out one way or another that they weren't what they have shown to you, that it was an act, that it was a performance, it was a mask, it wasn't real. And that's why you feel so betrayed by the entire situation, which, honey, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I send you a huge hug. This is just, you do not deserve this at all. And it seems to be this is the energy that you're going through right now. I don't know why this happened, but I don't even know if at this point I want to figure out why it happened anymore. Maybe their behavior and what went down here tells me all I need to know in order to move on, because I actually deserve better than that. If that's your energy right now, kudos to you. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. Spirit is very proud of the progress that you're making here. This change is a gift, even though it might be a bit complicated emotionally, or you might feel a bit torn every now and then. It's the right thing to step away from this person and to move on, because this is not a dynamic that you should invest in any longer. The future of the connection here is dead silence. You guys might be thinking about the past individually a lot, what went down here. Spirit is saying don't revisit the past, especially if it was extremely hurtful and especially if you got betrayed. Don't go back to this feeling all the time, You cannot change the past no matter how often you think about it. If you focus your energy in the present moment on those past experiences that went wrong, you're going to attract even more of that for your future. You don't want that for yourself. You have to speak from where you want to be and act from where you want to be. And if you know now that this person has treated you badly and that you don't deserve this, you deserve something more, you deserve something better, clearly define for yourself what you deserve and stand in your power with that. Move toward that. Direct your energy towards that. And maybe even be happy and relieved that you're out of this mess that this person has created here for you. This person is at a crossroads in their life. They're also going through a change, but they don't really know which direction to take yet. They don't want to lose access to you, is what I'm getting. They can't get you out of their system. They're emotionally, like this card says, they're going round and round in circles. They cannot let you go. They cannot. Something transpired here last year, because I get the number 25 on that card. And then here we have the number 13, which boils down to a 4. Something wasn't stable. Something wasn't grounded. Something was not truthful. Someone didn't really care about the way you feel. They cared more about themselves and how they felt. But now that you're gone, maybe you have created distance here. Maybe you had this awakening moment of suddenly realizing, wow, this is a shitty situation, I should go, and you just left. This person is still confused by that. They're stuck on you mentally and emotionally because they did not expect you to act that way. Spirit is saying you're doing the right thing for yourself here and for your health, to move away from that person, because right now it's not healthy. And if you would stay where you were with that person, what has already happened would reoccur over and over again. This person hasn't learned yet. Right now they're just confused and surprised that you're no longer taking it. But they're not actually putting the work in, doing the self-reflection, figuring out that it might have something to do with them and their behavior. They're just trying to analyze you, watching you, asking themselves why, There's also a message here about you really putting the work into this connection, wanting it to work out, trying to build a solid foundation with this person, but this person wasn't cooperative. It was no teamwork. You had to do all the work in the relationship or in the connection, and this person really did nothing to stabilize it with you, and so it crumbled. The stable foundation that you wanted to build wasn't able to be built, because it always takes two people, right? It takes both people to equally enhance the connection, work on it together, build it up together. But it seems like you have done all the work and this person really didn't do any work. And so eventually, how much can you take? It's not your job to do it all alone. It's not your job to fix things all the time, especially if it's that person that's causing a lot of drama and not you. Spirit is saying you're making the right choice right now to distance yourself and to walk away, to prioritize your own mental and emotional well-being over this person. There is great abundance and great luck, a lot of blessings coming to you because of that decision that you're making. But you have to get through this kind of difficult time right now of change. Maybe you really thought that this could work out here in the future with this person, and now you have kind of awakened to the harsh truth of, no, it doesn't work, and you have to leave. You're going to be rewarded for leaving this behind. You're going to look back on this situation one day realizing how lucky you are, that you got away from this. You're going to be grateful that it didn't work out. What is the chaos and conflict that happened here in the past? Well, there was no equal give and take, right? There was no reciprocity. I see you kind of overwhelmed with having to carry all the weight of this connection all on your own. I see you maybe having sleepless nights, not knowing what to do, but you just knew this wasn't right and you're not happy and you have to do something. But to move forward into the future with clarity is difficult if you're still emotionally attached to someone, right? It's difficult to be rational when you're emotional. The situation wasn't fair. This person used you and your kind heart, your caring nature, for their own benefit. And when it really, came down to stepping up, showing up for you as well, this person didn't. I see you being very broken by that. This could remind you of a childhood pattern. Maybe you had a father or a mother figure in your life when you were younger who was just like that. If you feel like this connection with this person here reminds you of a parent or a grandparent or a sibling, where there's a similar dynamic going on, definitely look at that. There might be some truth in that. You might be able to break the code and get out of the same pattern that you might have been in even before this connection with a family member, by really looking at that, reflecting on that, analyzing that situation through. This could also be a person here that you have known since childhood, and you made excuses for them, you know, because, well, they're my brother, they're my sister, or, well, they're my cousin, or, well, we know each other since school, we were best friends back then, and they showed up for me back then, and so I'll always show up for them. Yeah, but they betrayed you here, right? I think you have stayed much longer than you should have stayed here, to be honest with you. This person used your kind and caring nature and your understanding of, you know, once I'm there for a person, once I'm friends with someone, once I love them, I'll always be there. I'll do anything that's needed in order to keep the connection stable and going. They used that mindset of yours. They're aware that you have that mindset and they used you for it. They played it safe. They felt like you would never leave anyway, no matter what they do. And that's when they kind of crossed a boundary here and betrayed you in a way that you maybe never have imagined. And this has caused a major rock bottom moment for you, is what I see. I see a lot of sadness. I see a lot of hurt and pain. I'm so sorry this happened to you. This has woken you up that this person isn't actually what it seems. Maybe never was what it seems. You have created distance. You have detached from this. You are taking your power back. It's going to take some time to completely let go of this person or remove yourself out of the environment of this person. Maybe you have the same friend group or the same social circles, but you're doing the right thing in distancing yourself here. In the future, I see a new beginning for yourself. You're going to choose you. You're going to choose people and an environment that is treating you fairly and equally, who has taken equally as much effort as you do. You're going to build a very stable connection with yourself. You're going to do things that you enjoy doing. Your finances are going to look up. Your career is going to look up. You're reprioritizing. Maybe this connection has been your focus for a very long time, trying to make this relationship work. All your time and energy and effort went into that. That's shifting now. You have seen what you have to see in order to realize who this person truly is. Now it's just about, you know, trying to detach from them and letting them go, which is a process that takes some time, especially if feelings are involved here, right? But you will get through this, because I see you coming out at the other end after some time of really, you know, being in a hermit mode, focusing on yourself, maybe not going out a lot, spending a lot of time alone, finding your center again, where you're going to go out again and you're going to enjoy life again. And you're going to focus on the things that do work in your life, the relationships that do work and make you happy, the job that does fulfill you. You know, there's some sort of financial opportunity I see coming in, but you have also grown wiser because of the situation. Eventually, you're going to find the good in this very horrible, sad ending you've had with a person and in that betrayal. And you're going to look back on it with an attitude of, I'm glad this happened because I now know what I deserve. I now know what I will and will not accept and tolerate in relationships. I'm no longer going to settle. I'm no longer going to try to work things out with someone who is not able to meet me halfway. You have learned a lot about relationships and equality here and reciprocity in relationships. You will see that one day. And based on that realization in the future, you're going to attract other opportunities to you in the future. But this person here is not good for you. Yeah, they aren't. Honey, you should run. Definitely leave that person behind. Try to release that person. I know it's easier said than done. And like I've said, it's going to take some time. You have to expect that this person comes back around kind of impulsively, confronting you with your distance. Like, where are you? Why are you away? I need you. You know, they're used to you always being there for them, always helping them out, always having an open heart for them. But that's not a thing anymore. You have closed your heart to this person. You're no longer allowing them in. You're no longer allowing them to take control over you and your life. You're no longer going to suppress the things that you actually want to do that make you happy for another person. You're no longer going to allow another person to keep you small. This person does not understand that kind of awakening that you're going through here. It seems to me you're finally understanding your worth. You're finally seeing your own value. Maybe you haven't in the past. And this person was attracted into your life based off of that old frequency of, you know, maybe not feeling so worthy and not feeling so valuable. I've been there, you know, you attract a lot of people that are just using you. A lot of energy vampires and a lot of people that just take advantage of you. Maybe this is one of those people. Now that you are taking your power back, really realizing your worth and what you actually deserve, this person is kind of flabbergasted. They're confused, even shocked at what this means for them, you know? They might see you walk away rather quickly and they're very confused, wanting to hold you up, wanting you to stay. You got to stay in your power and in your truth and not allow this person to hold you up or continue to keep you stuck in something that you know is not good for you anymore. I see you in an energy of really analyzing why this person came in, or if you know them from the past, what this relationship is supposed to tell you about your past or about your own self-image, about your own self-worth. I see you really dissecting that. That's a good thing. Spirit says keep going, keep doing that. You're going to understand more about yourself, and that's going to help you grow. You're definitely growing here, spiritually speaking, and that's a good thing. All of this entire situation is actually a gift, and it might not appear to be like that, but it is actually a gift that this has happened, because it's realigning you with your truth, yourself. This person doesn't want to lose access to you. They want to find a way to make you hold on to them. Just be aware of that. They might come around. They only care about their happiness, about their well-being, about having to be in the spotlight, getting all the attention. They want success. It's an ego thing. They don't really care about your emotions, your feelings here. You know, that doesn't matter to them. They don't feel. They have their own personal issues about allowing emotions to come to the surface and to feel things here. They do everything very logically also in relationships, but they only care about their self-image and the way things look on the outside, and they really only care about how much they have benefited from your kind nature. And now that they have to fear that they're losing that, they might impulsively come back around trying to hold you in this very unhealthy dynamic with them. Obviously, you know, it's always a shock for people who take advantage of you to when you finally take your power back and say, I'm no longer doing this. You know, it's always a shock. They try to come up with a strategy to make you stay. You know, what do I have to say in order to keep them in my life here? I'm going to act like a King of Pentacles. I'm going to act like I'm a grounded, mature person. I'm going to say just what they want to hear. I'm going to pretend to be just like what they always wanted me to be, a person who also is now going to make an effort. Just know they're not actually going to make an effort. They just want you to stay. This is done. Ten of Swords. You releasing this and moving on from this is just the right thing to do. You're doing the right thing. Don't let yourself be stopped by this person. You feeling this intuitive urge to leave this person behind, You knowing that you have seen everything that you need to see in order to know that this is not going to evolve into something long-standing, healthy, and happy that is going to fulfill you is all that you need to know. This person has not treated you fairly, and you're leaving. You're standing up for yourself. You're taking your power back. Good for you. Thank you for being here. This is all that I have for you. See you next time.